Hey guys, welcome to Route to Recover. This week I'm going to be talking about how to plan a self-care day that is perfectly fit for you. My hope for these self-care videos are to talk about and show you fun ways of taking care of yourself on a day-to-day basis. These videos will consist of DIYs, organization tips, as well as videos like the one I'm going to be doing today. So without further ado, let's get into the video. When I think of self-care, the first thing that comes to mind is de-stressing. Obviously, we can all have our own definitions when it comes to this, but generally it's taking care of our physical, emotional, and spiritual self. There are tons of misconceptions when it comes to this because there's this romanticized version of self-care that we've all come to know. I know for myself, when I think of this, it's face masks and doing your nails and watching old Disney movies. And don't get me wrong, if that's what works for you, then go for it. There's no judgment here. It's just that I tried that version of self-care because that's what I thought I needed, when in reality it really wasn't. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. My first try with self-care blew up in my face. I designated one day of the week. I picked Mondays because I didn't have classes at the time. Every Monday I would read a chapter of the book by Sarah Knight, The Life-Changing Magic of Not Giving a F***. Honestly, I would 100% recommend reading this book to anyone. It was funny and eye-opening, and it gave you the most obvious ways to make sure that you are being your best self. I would spend the whole day putting on my favorite movies, I would do my nails, put on my favorite hair and face mask, and then take a shower. Now, I realize that does sound like a pretty great day, and I did have it planned to a T. Like I said before, it didn't work, and here's why. First things first, I planned for each Monday to look exactly like the last, but never took into consideration how it was supposed to look like for me, to benefit me. I was putting way too much thought into the wrong areas. I was more invested in ensuring that my self-care looked perfect on paper, that I forgot what it was trying to achieve for myself. I wanted to use it as a way for me to reset every week. The goal was to learn self-love and allow my mental self to take a break, and this exercise was very much to benefit my mental health. But because it was so thoroughly planned around what this romanticized version of self-care was, all it brought to me was an extra layer of stress that I didn't ask for. So every Monday would come around and it felt like a chore, and I started dreading my one day off, and eventually I just blew off the whole thing entirely. I remember the day I really turned things around for myself. Just for some background information, I am an organization nut. I have this agenda and I write everything in it, and I mean everything. So on this Monday, I had it written self-care day. I was in a meeting and a friend pointed at my agenda, and said, "You should be doing this every day." And in that moment, I realized I can't plan for this. If I want to learn how to love myself and reset my mind, I can't plan it a whole week in advance. The first thing I did was take this stereotypical version of self-care that I already had in my head and completely erase it. I already had this great list of activities that I use when I'm stressed or having a terrible panic attack, so I wrote them out to have a visual of what I was working with. When I know I'm not okay, I'll look into my list and I'll do something that I can use to either distract myself or make myself feel better, depending on what I need in that moment. I would very much recommend that you take a few minutes and you make a list of your own, of all the things that make you feel good. This board was incredibly easy to put together. I just got a picture frame from my local dollar store, and I took some wallpaper and I taped it on the part of the frame that's at the back. And you get a list something like this. My list consists of things like painting or taking a shower or watching YouTube videos or just reading a book. And honestly, I can't even tell you how incredibly helpful this has been for me. I would very much recommend that you take a few minutes to make a list for yourself of things that make you feel good. This board was incredibly easy to put together. I just took a frame and I wrote on it, basically. Keeping this list somewhere you can see it every day is extremely beneficial and can make sure you do something for yourself every day. As well as if you have some time in the day to spend the whole day for yourself, then do it. Make the day all about you. If you don't have the whole day, that's fine. You could just do 2 or 3 things on this list, or even just have a more thorough skincare routine. Self-care is one of those things that we don't give enough thought into. But it is one of the best ways to ensure that we don't burn out and we give ourselves some time to ourselves. Remember, it's taking care of your physical, mental, and spiritual self, not one or the other. Find something that helps you tend to yourself. Honestly, even just getting out of bed on a bad day and getting back into it is a version of self-care. I know how hard mental health can get, and I myself have bad days where I can't get out of my bed to just go brush my teeth. And I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. So if you're ever in a moment where you just feel so incredibly heavy and you can't get out of bed, just stay in it. Sometimes it just takes strength to know that you need a break. And honestly, even just getting out of bed and getting back in it can be such a huge accomplishment. And I would be so proud of you for doing either one of the two things. You just have to know what you need for yourself. I truly hope that this video gives you the push to take care of you, because you truly are incredibly important and you deserve this time for yourself. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. I'll see you guys next week.